Indeed, live. Check it out.
What about your boy Rodney Perry?
Everybody just stop what you're doing.
Rodney Perry. OTV every night.
Hey there, how you doing? What's up? Everybody on your feet, get up. Good laughs, good people, good vibes. Get ready, cause it's about that time. So clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Laugh it up, laugh it up, laugh it up. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Laugh it up, laugh it up, laugh it up. Everybody get ready. Everybody get ready. Everybody get ready. Everybody get ready. This show is off the chain. This show is off the chain. All off the chain. This show is off the chain.
Off the chain.
Off the chain.
Rodney Perry.
Off the chain. Off the chain. Rodney Perry is off the chain.
You don't want to see me do my thing.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rodney Perry. You're tuned in to Rodney Perry Live. We're indeed live. It is Saturday, the 23rd, and it's going down. Going down right here on the live. So it's a celebration today. Say, Rodney Perry, what the hell you celebrate? One is my 18-year-old daughter's birthday, and this broadcast look crazy, but it's my 18-year-old daughter's birthday, but it's also, the celebration is for the fact that I just achieved 300 subscribers on YouTube. Yes, 300 people in the building. Yes. And to help me celebrate, some of my friends, welcome to the show, Miss Charmel McMillan. What's up, Chartownian?
Hey, what's up, RP? Congratulations and happy birthday to one of your beautiful daughters.
Yes, that's Rihanna is celebrating her birthday today, and we're gonna probably go out to the Cheesecake Factory or something. And
Okay.
do it today. My face is all shaky and crazy looking right now.
You think it's your connection, maybe? Have you checked the connection?
I checked the connection. I might not be able to stay on here, but I definitely wanted to try to start it to see if it would just clear up organically. So we're gonna try these first few minutes and see what happens. I think you can hear me fine. Am I right?
I can hear you great. I can hear you as well. You look great, Char. I throw it together quick. I had a towel on my head. I just finished washing my hair. So let me throw on a ponytail and a cap, and I'll be with you.
I love it. Now you do your own show weekly. Tell me about it.
Oh, my show is called It Is What It Is, How Men Think, the male perspective on relationships. So it's men going in, telling it like it is. Every Tuesday on Facebook live stream, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. And so we've had some amazing guests. Last week, I just had the legendary George Wallace and Don D.C. Curry. We've had Raheem Devon. We've had Tony Roberts. We've had the amazing Rodney Perry on. We've had To Hear More. I've had over 50 guests in 17 episodes. So we are rolling. Coming up soon, my hang partner, my ace, Tony Rock, and D. Ray Davis, and Cisco just confirmed. Thong song, don't, just confirmed. So we are getting it in. Omar Wilson has been on also. So those three make up 4 of the men from the new single Secret Garden.
Oh, get out here. They remaking Secret Garden.
Oh, they already did it. It's like on the top of the charts for the last 9 weeks. And so I had Omar Wilson on about 3 weeks ago with Michael Collier and Mike Hill from Real Housewives of Atlanta and the Mike and Donnie show. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Mike Hill just got married. Good dude.
Yes, Cynthia Bailey.
Wow. Very dope. So, Char, you always on the cutting edge. So what have you learned that you didn't know from your show?
Well, I'm trying to think. I think it reemphasized things I already knew. But, I'm different. We've been friends over 20-something years, RP. So, I'm different. So men kind of like sit and kick it with me anyway, like whether it's, my friends, backstage, whatever. So I'm glad that it conveys live, that they still have that same energy, that they're still just chatting. But I think the thing it reemphasized to me is that men mean what they say, and they're pretty simplistic. It gets complicated when they want something or they feel pressure. You understand what I mean? Like, so if their back is against the wall, anybody who's back against the wall and, feels like they got to give an answer, they got to say the right thing, may deviate from the script. But for the most part, it is what it is, how men think. What they say is what they mean, first off. So if a man says he wants to be your friend, he meant that shit. And so even if y'all sleep together, even if y'all start dating, even if you start doing what you think is relationship stuff, ladies, there's no such thing as relationship stuff. It just is what it is. And so he's still on friendship page, no matter what transpires after he says it. He still wants to be your friend.
Right. But now I got to ask you though, Char, like, I'll be on my guys about saying one thing and doing something else. Do you find that generally speaking, guys say one thing and do something else?
I think guys say one thing and take opportunity when it comes.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? So
Yeah.
they say, I want to be your friend. I don't want a relationship right now. You offer them some coochie, they ain't going to say thank you. So they didn't deviate from the script. They took the opportunity. And so women think when they take the opportunity, now your perspective has changed. You know what I mean? What you're looking for has changed. So that's what happens, I think, a lot of times. And then men also, what was shocking? You asked me what shocked me. What shocked me is when I've asked the question repeatedly to groups of men, do men lie? Hell yeah, we lie. I was like, oh, that shocked me that they were so forthcoming. And they were like, we lie. They were like, we do lie. I was shocked that they admitted that, and boldly. And so there's a comma in there, but they do lie a lot.
Right.
And so they said, and a lot of men have said, men tell little lies, women tell big lies. Men lie about where they going or where they've been. Women lie about the baby is yours. So that's what they're telling me. I don't know.
Wow. Hey, that's something. Hey, this is a great conversation. Joining us today as well, man. Another one of my friends, been knowing this lady for a long time. Flat out funny. A very, very dope lady. She goes by the name of Eunice Elliott. Eunice, how are you?
I'm great. It sounds weird when you say I go by the name of Eunice. That's what my mama them put on me, so I just kept it. But Char, you have been putting me on game. I've been listening backstage. I'm definitely going to check out your show. I have a podcast called Oh No Girl Yes, where we talk about the woman's perspective of dating and relationships. So
call me.
I know about what the men are saying for sure.
Wow. So what is the consensus among women, Eunice? Like, what are women saying, and do we ever agree?
Women are saying that men suck, and we're trying to work around that. So a lot of times as you get older, at least my demographic, we start realizing, okay, it's the type of man we've been dating and interacting with. It's the type of energy we're putting out. And so all we can do at this point is try to raise our own vibrations to bring that high vibrating man to us. But I have been so disappointed that the older the men get, that does not mean they've gotten wiser or more honest. They just have gotten older. That has been my biggest disappointment in men, is they haven't really matured a whole lot.
I think I personally have matured. I'm a better man than I was when I was younger. But
you also have a woman and a family that supports those efforts and causes you to do that. I'm talking about single men who are just left to their own devices. There's nobody calling them on the carpet. There's nobody holding them accountable. And so they just continue on the same path they've been on since they were, in middle school, high school, college.
That's a great point, because I'll give you a great quick story. So early on in the comedy game, everything was under the guise of business. It was always business. And so I'm out 2-3 in the morning after the comedy club closed, and I would come home. My wife was like, well, what takes 3 o'clock in the morning to do? And I'm like, we was talking business, and it was true. But what she called me on is like, well, why are you drunk? And I had to go, you know what? That's a good point. And to this day, you'll rarely see me drinking in public, because I got to have my mind and my faculties clear if I'm conducting business.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, that somehow men are missing the point that women make them better versions of themselves. And somehow they have this narcissistic, selfish idea that they're working on themselves. They've got plans, and when I'm ready, I'll come get you. And it's like, baby, I'm your helpmate. I can actually help you get to who you're trying to be and where you're trying to go. I'm on your team. And I think that's lost in translation nowadays for whatever reason. It's like us versus them. And you see grown men sharing all this negative, hateful stuff about grown women and vice versa. And I'm like, let's have a conversation. I want the same things you want. I want somebody to cuddle with and love with and travel with and share my dreams with and cry on their shoulders. And you want that too. Let's just commit to do that together. And I can't believe men that are 50 years old are still talking about let's be friends. It's like, you need somebody to know how to work at that fibromyalgia you got going on. Like, I'm doing that for my friends, you know?
Hey, Shar, let me ask you,
Yes.
You're talking to guys in numbers. Is Eunice, are women way off, or is she dead on?
I think both sexes are way off, and that's why they don't meet in the middle. I think that men are very honest, and women ought to embrace that, because women are groomed to want relationships. They're groomed to want the family base. They're groomed to want to have children. Sometimes women even looked at as failures if they don't have the traditional things that you've been taught you're supposed to have. I think men are doing a great service to women when they say, I just want to be friends, or I'm not ready. And like the woman's like, yes, you are. We could work together. No, he's not. No, he's not ready. And so he knows he's not ready, but women don't want to accept that, because he's cute. Because
let me offer something on that, Sharmell, because I'm curious.
Can I finish? Can I finish what I was saying?
Yes.
Okay, so women don't want to hear that piece. And so when you're attracted to him, then all things are off the table. Like, we can work on this, I can work on him. Women look at men and see potential. And that's not necessarily a good thing all the time, because he's not in a place where he wants to be more than the potential you think you see. And so I think there's a disconnect when women don't accept men as they are, as where they are, who they are. They think, I can change him, I can make this better. And I think that's a bad stance to take.
So on the point when you say men are being honest,
I didn't say that. I said they're being honest when they say,
but I have my experience
I'm not ready.
and what we talk about on my podcast. Well, no, when they say let's be friends, and you can say, as a woman, you can say, sure, let's be friends, and then you enter your own risk. But what I have done, if I'm wanting to date someone, is I say, well, I'm not looking for a friend right now. And then that guy will press the issue and then offer relationship stuff. And I'm like, but you want to be friends and I'm looking for more. So a lot of men will say that friends, I'm not ready thing up front. And then they continue to pursue and push relationship stuff that, of course, the woman's going to fall into, but he can always fall back to, but I said we were just going to be friends. So I'm saying it's a double-edged sword that some men are not being honest. They know they can still get what they want out of you, but they can always fall back on, oh, but I said that at the beginning, even though they then continue to offer you all this stuff, not because you think it's different. I'm just speaking from personal experience. I've had plenty of men that say, well, let's just be friends and see what happens. And I'm like, well, I'm not really using my time for that right now. And then they call every day and they want to meet for coffee. And I'm like, I told you what I want. That's not what you want. And they're really just trying to get you, on the roster some kind of way, because they gonna do it when they get ready, right? And now they got a whole inventory of who they gonna pick from. When they ready, then you just want a mini.
You don't have to answer, though. That's the thing. Women say, men keep doing this. Men keep doing this. You don't have to answer. You don't have to respond. You don't have to open your legs. You don't have to do none of it. You have the choice to say, leave me alone, and mean it wholeheartedly. But
let me jump in, Char, because I think the disconnect comes like when the guys do pursue, like, so, and how about it? How about this? We're all attracted to each other too. Like, so it's easier said than done to be like, just walk away, and so I think you both have valid points. I know guys that flat out lie, women that end up being a side chick without no knowledge or no choice. And how about this? If given a choice, they might have rolled with it, And so I think Shar, I think you make some valid points. And I want to ask you this though: how did you get to a point where you understood this for yourself as a woman, and didn't? And you are obviously thinking outside the realm of most women.
Yeah, I think, well, I tried to think about that, RP, because I was like, why do I have such a different mindset? And men always say, you're different. You move different than most women. I always thought it was because I have a company. I have companies, so I'm a businesswoman. So I don't move in emotion a lot. It's more logical. It's more objective rather than subjective, and so that's essential to what I do professionally. But then also I started peeling back the layers, and like my mom is the only girl out of 5 brothers. And so she has to be male minded. I had to get it innately in how she raised me, how both my parents raised me, and instilling certain values in me. And I always had an open communication with my dad, so that meant something. Having an open communication with your father who's putting you up on game. Your mama was raised in a house with 5 brothers, and she's the only girl. So it's her and her mama, her father, and five brothers. You know what I mean? So that creates a male-mindedness, different approach and look at life and relationships in and of itself. But let me ask you this, Rodney, because you said something about things happen. We're all attracted to each other. People want what they want, then they get caught out there. If I offered you a job and it was your dream job, and I said, I don't want to pay you though, and I keep calling you every day, but I want you to work here. I want you to work here. I want you to work here. Would you take it? Would you tell me to get the hell off your phone, or would you keep taking the call? Because I don't want to pay you. But it's a dream job.
Do I have a job at all?
Huh?
Do I already have a job?
I don't know if you are. Even if you don't already have a job, how is me calling you every day and not offering you any money helping you out of your situation? Even if it looks like a dream job.
I may find a way. It's my dream job. You're not paying me. I may find a way to rationalize it to make it make sense.
And that's what people do with relationships. They rationalize it to make it make sense because that's what they want. Ain't nobody offering them nothing on the table. But they were like, well, they keep calling. So it's my dream job. It looks good. So there they are. And
there's also something to be said about living in a moment. And sometimes you do choose to engage with people that you know are not going to offer you a future because you want something to do that day. Now, that's on you whether or not you get emotionally attached and set expectations on the result of that. But one thing that I have learned as I've gotten older, I'm almost 46 and I've never been married. I've always been down for business minded. As I get older, I realize I don't want to be male minded. I realize I don't want to think like a man. I look differently than men of how I think and also have a better understanding of how they think. But I don't want to ever feel like I have to think like a man in order to get what I want. I want to embrace femininity. I want to embrace my emotions. The advantage women have over men is that we were always allowed to cry as little kids. We were always allowed to express our emotions. We've always been allowed to say, hey, that hurt my feelings. That bothered me. Or I ain't messing with you no more. Whereas men will just ghost you when you hurt their feelings. Or they'll just, sleep with your best friend because you hurt their feelings. And so I think the advantage is that women have been raised to, as you said,
whoa. Sleep with your best friend? Who doing that?
We've been raised to have emotions, to be loving, to be responsive.
Hold on, Eunice.
Men have been told as little boys, stop crying, don't cry, you a man. And then it's like,
hold on, Eunice. Sleep with your best friend. Who did that?
They do that.
But I mean, you ain't never seen Jerry Springer. Stop playing, Rodney. I'm saying it happens all the time. Men will hurt you or will act out an emotion versus communicate the hurt or the harm. They will just try to harm you in exchange because they haven't never been given the tools. They weren't encouraged as a young person, as a young man, to express, hey, that bothered me when you said that. Hey, that hurt. I didn't like that. We will say that, and then we get accused of being so emotional. It's like, no, I just know how to communicate.
Hold on. Everybody freeze. I know my signal is horrible, but this is a great conversation. So hold on, wait. All right. And I always try to hear women out because my wife is a woman and I have 5 daughters. And so the plight of woman interests me, and it's always worthy of conversation. And what I understand is even if I don't get it, I really need to listen to women. I need to listen. I need to hear it because I may not get it. It may not make sense. It may not be the way I think. But the idea is valid if it's coming from the woman. And so let's look at some of the chat. Rhonda says, Eunice, say it. Yes. Okay. Who has somebody just all in my business. Nina said 5 girls. God. Chantel Blunt. People try to play games too much. I'm happily single too. I'm too grown for all that. My mind is different too. They agree. They agree. The women out there in these streets. Rhonda. Ladies, I've learned to treat men the same way they treat women. Now, is that the answer? Is that the answer?
No. Now, let me say this, RP. Okay. I would say there's a lot to...
We'll take you, Shar, first, then we'll take Eunice. Go ahead, Shar.
Okay. I would say there's a lot to unpack with some of the things that were interpolated from what I was saying. And Rodney, you know me over 20-something years. I'm probably one of the most feminine women you know. Being logical and being feminine are not mutually exclusive. Operating from a subjective standpoint versus objective standpoint is not mutually exclusive. So you can be feminine and still be objective, still be logical, still be discerning in how you conduct yourself, and be extremely feminine and extremely demure. And so they are not mutually exclusive. You can be all woman and still be objective and logical. And just because society says those are male standpoints, I never said once think like a man. I never said that. I said I'm objective and I'm logical in my approach to things. I'm judicial in how I handle things.
Indeed.
So my comment was not directed to you, Sherelle. I feel like I was talking about my perspective. So it wasn't in response to you. I've never met you before. But what I was going to say is I match energies. So if a man is putting forth effort, I'll put effort. If he's not putting forth effort, I'm not going to put forth effort. I think women naturally, we get excited we look at dating as fun and something a bonus we get to do in addition to all our other responsibilities, and men look at dating as an additional responsibility. So they're not necessarily jumping in it as quickly because it's something else they got to do. And we look at it as, oh, that's something I get to do. And so I match the energy of whoever I'm in talking to. If they don't call me, I don't call them. If they don't text me, I don't text them. So I've learned to not always just do what I feel, because I'm always going to end up giving more than I'm getting. And then they'll just go along for the ride for sure. But it's not because it was their idea, they're attached to any idea of it, or they're putting forth the effort.
All right, ladies.
You are.
Well said. This is a super dope conversation. I want to open the floor for some of you guys that are tuned in, that are watching YouTube. First of all, it's Rodney Perry celebration of the YouTube page. It is cooking right now. Thank you for those of you that have subscribed today. The YouTube is youtube.com/Rodney Perry Live. These are both dope ladies with dope podcasts. Let's go. You can check out my homegirl on YouTube as well, Miss Shartown Entertainment. And Eunice, where can people find your show?
It's called Oh No, Girl Yes. It's on all podcasts under that name and also on YouTube. Oh No, Girl Yes is short for Oh No, he didn't. Girl, yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
It was inspired. I was dating a guy back when I was a television news anchor. He was 50. And we had only been dating for about a month. We hadn't had any arguments, any fights, but he kind of started drawing away from me one particular weekend. And I reached out to him, was like, hey, just checking on you, see how you're feeling. And he broke up with me via text while I was on the air doing the news.
Wow.
And it was like that. You 50, like, okay, let's break up.
Yeah. But how much is that a man and how much is that him? So, but
I have to believe that was him, and not all men would do that. I have to believe that.
Don't answer that. So what is your YouTube? What's your YouTube?
Oh No, Girl Yes.
Oh, it's the same. ONOGRLYES.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh No, Girl Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. There we go.
I let each man be an individual. I think each man, comes with something different. Every man that I've dated that it has not worked out with, it has not worked out for different reasons. So I'm not dating the same guy over and over again. And so I have a good collection of, okay, I can see my part in this. I can see his part in this. I can see we weren't a good match. I can see the energy or timing. So it's a lot of different reasons why it doesn't work out. Without making any gross generalizations, I'm talking about what I have discovered about myself. And that's what I talk about on the podcast, is things that I've learned. And then I share those things.
Awesome. So let's do this. Let's open the floor. Let's take some questions. If you're in the chat, give us questions. These two incredible women are going to field the questions along with myself. And I don't know what's wrong with my broadcast, but this is a great chat.
It looks like an auto filter or something. Do you have like a filter on it?
I don't have nothing. I don't know what the hell is going on, but we're going to rock it out. Shouts out to Cassandra from 77th and Bishop, my childhood street, my grandmother's house right down there on the corner. Mad love. I see you, Cleveland, Ohio, in the building. How about this? The men with two parents with a loving relationship are the worst. Wait a minute, Rhonda. Act like you don't know how to be honest. On my last nerves. Hold on, Rhonda. Stop right there.
She went hard in the paint on that one, didn't she?
Rhonda, now, Rhonda, maybe it's that guy. But maybe it's that guy though. Why do I have to be all men because of that one guy was a piece of doo-doo?
Yeah, let's not make any generalizations. But what I will say from men and women that I've experienced, I was raised by.
Hold on, guys. Rhonda said,
I said what I said. I love it. You better go, Rhonda.
All of it. But a lot of times when people grew up with a two-parent household and their parents are still together, a lot of times their parents have protected them from the ugly parts and the truth. And so they still don't have a realistic view. I know people who are as adults like, oh, you know what? I have a totally different understanding of my parents' relationships now that I'm older and out the house and I'm having grown-up conversations with my mom. And so sometimes, parents protect kids from the honest moments just to say, hey, we're a happy family. I have not necessarily known who the relationship was until we grew up and then we started experiencing them ourselves.
Go ahead, John.
There's glitches in the, I'm not cutting you off, Eunice, with all due respect, there were glitches. So it's a break in the, there's glitches in the, I guess the, what is it? The interface or whatever. So it's glitching a little bit. So I thought she was finished talking. I'm sorry, sis. But I was going to kind of agree with what she's saying. I think that when you have that, I grew up with two parents and they've been together 60 years. They've been married 54 years and they waited years to start having kids and stuff like that. So they did everything, by the book, I guess, proverbially. But I think they do, and I think in general, parents try to, maybe as a rule, I don't know, maybe it stops at some ages for some people, but they try to shield their children, try to give them hope, try to create magic for them, try to create better perspectives than they had maybe for themselves. And they want their kids to be better. And sometimes it is, it handicaps them, to an extent when you try to protect children, when you try to give them a brighter outlook than maybe what you saw, what you had. You want every generation to be better. And sometimes they go about it the wrong way, but I think the intent is good. And I could say, my parents, they created a little bit of a fantasy. I didn't realize what problems look like until I got older. I started to see it through grown eyes, and realize what real relationships look like, what the balance of real relationships look like, understanding that there's no such thing as perfection. I don't look for perfection. I look for integrity in a man. And so there's a difference, so I expect you to be totally human. I expect you to be totally flawed. I expect you to be totally sometimes in ways that may shock the hell out of me, but I prefer honesty and integrity, and we can deal with whatever it is together. So that's my outlook on relationships. That's how I am when I'm in a relationship. So my energy.
Absolutely. And also, guys, the idea that somehow a person with two parents is less equipped to deal with relationships is kind of outside of the way I think, because I think that a lot of us products of single parents are at a loss because of that. And to imply that a person with two parents, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can have two parents and still end up being a horrible person. But I think you have more opportunity to be a great person because of the balance of two parents. But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
It's so case by case. It's no one color for everybody, because you can have been brought up in an abusive, two-parent home, and you think it's okay to be abused. So it's really hard to say. And that's the thing that I think is so important, is that we all take responsibility of how we move in the world. We all have a reason that we are the way we used to be, but you still get to take responsibility. And I think what Sharmell said is so true. I think a lot of times men won't pursue relationships because they have this idea that we think they have to be perfect or need to be perfect. I just want you to be honest and just do what you say you're going to do. We're going to all fall short of all of our expectations. Myself, every day, I say, you know what? You supposed to already done 100 sit-ups by now. And you already drinking your first margarita of the morning. That's
You
all
know,
right.
Rodney.
They're gonna love me. And I think men kind of go away because they're like, oh wait, I'm not perfect. I'm working on some things. I'm challenged. And it's like it really is just about integrity. So I think you still get to pick how you get to show up in the world, regardless of how you were raised. You might have some challenges and some setbacks and have to reprogram your thinking, but you're responsible for you.
You know, Rodney, I think the benefit of having two parents, yes, sometimes they shelter you. Yes, sometimes you have a warped sense of reality because they want you to, thrive and feel comfortable in life, relationships, whatever. But I think the benefit is, and to what you're saying about, how you felt having a single parent, I think the benefit is that as I got older, as I matured, as I started to live life fully, I could see what a balance between a man and woman looked like, and I could also synthesize where I fit into reality. So that was the benefit, because I did grow up seeing an example. Then I had to figure out what reality looked like for me and embrace that, and then combine the two worlds on my own. And I think that's what being grown is about.
Wow, well said. Hey, you know what? I think we're really unpacking some dope stuff today. Let me ask you ladies this. And this is a question. What are we doing right? Like, what are couples doing right? What are people getting right? What are men getting right? What are women getting right? Eunice, I'm gonna give you the ball first. What are guys doing right, if anything?
That's a rough one. That's a rough one. So I think when you say men, then we're talking in general. So I can't give an in general answer. I can't see what most men are doing right. And that's just my personal perspective. But I can't speak for all men and every man. I'm saying I can't see what most of them are getting right.
Well, let's talk about that guy. The guy you mentioned, y'all was doing good, and then all of a sudden you came off the rails. What was he doing right up until he wasn't doing it right?
He was trying to be the person he thought I wanted him to be versus being truthful about who he was. And so in the beginning, it was great because I'm like, wow, he does this and he does this and he knows I like that and he's doing that. And so it was great. And then one day he forgot to pretend. And then it was like, oh, okay. And then as I started learning more of who he actually was, and this was someone I dated 17 years ago and had been trying to get me back for 17 years. So that gave him points too. We in a pandemic, this man show up again. Okay, what I got to lose? We all about to die. So when the mask started falling off and I started remembering why I broke up 17 years ago and why I never said yes in 17 years, it wasn't a hard choice to let that go. It was like, okay, I was trying to give him the benefit of doubt.
So wait, Eunice,
the same person I was 17 years ago.
Eunice, there is nothing that man did right.
I agree. I agree. There's nothing he did right, but other than pretend like he was.
No, Eunice, you telling me that man did.
He did that part right. It was all a lie, but that's how he got me back. He did that part right.
Wait, Eunice.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Let me say this. I'm dating a new guy now. And what I am noticing he does right is he will communicate when he's having a bad day and doesn't feel like talking. He will communicate things he's excited about. He will communicate intentions and plans. And that's just refreshing to me that he just communicates. He manages my expectations on certain days. Like, hey, I have this at 5 o'clock and this at 10 o'clock, but I'm going to do this and this and this. And I love that he gives me the information. And yeah, I would rather you not have that at 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock, but you have managed my expectation. And so he does that right. He is a communicator, and I'm enjoying having a man that will communicate whatever the answer is. He will give it to me.
Wow,
that's what he's doing right. Men in general.
OB says when they pretend, it's difficult to call it right. Understood. Charmel, what are ladies getting right?
What are ladies getting right?
Mm-hmm.
I think innately ladies want to love. They want to embrace. They want to nurture. They want to be the rib to somebody. I believe that. I believe innately that's what they want. Do I think that they're always going about it the correct way or the most effectual way? No. And I think that is the difference. The young lady just said communication is key. I think learning how to communicate, learning how to listen. I think sometimes one of the faults of women is, and this is not a slight against women, it just is what it is, maybe it's how we're groomed, is to listen to speak. You know what I mean? Instead of listening to absorb what the person is saying to you and letting it marinate, so that you fully understand who he is. I think one of the things that ladies get right, like I said, is wanting to love and nurture. The thing I think they get wrong is they wait too long to let go of the fantasy of what they've been taught relationships will be, what they're going to look like, what Mr. Right is going to look like. And sometimes they may have overlooked someone who was Mr. Absolutely Right for you because he didn't look like the storybook image that you've been playing out since you were 5 years old. You know, he didn't do this, this, and that. And so I think that we're absolutely not bashing men, Vernon. My show is It Is What It Is, How Men Think. So I'm uplifting the male perspective. But I was asked the question about what women are doing right, and he also asked the question previously what men were doing wrong. So to play devil's advocate and actually say what I think men and women are doing right versus wrong, I think men. I talked about what they do right. I think they say I'm not ready. That's right. I think they try to impress, like Eunice said. They try to please. Boys are raised to be pleasers, believe it or not, especially if they had a relationship with their mother. They wanted to please her. They wanted to do what she said. They wanted to do what make her happy. I want to put a smile on mama's face. As soon as men make it, if their mom is still living or if they're blessed to still have a mother, the first thing they do is buy her a car. I bought my mama a house. I bought my mama. They want to please women. Sometimes they go overboard trying to please the woman they're pursuing instead of being their authentic self and being honest about who they are, so creative.
Okay. Here's another question, a completely different school of thought. And I would love to hear you guys' perspective on this. One, do nice guys finish last? If so, why? If not, why? Ms. Winner.
You have to talk for Eunice.
You said nice guys finish. Yeah, repeat the question. It kind of froze up when you asked the question.
Yes, ma'am. Do nice guys finish last? And if so, why?
Okay. Two things. I want to go back to Fields Vernon. My book that's coming out this year is called I Might Not Be a Great Girlfriend. When you are a great catch, but you struggle once you've been caught. So it's not about male bashing. It's about we can only take responsibility for our participation in everything. So that's number one. Number two, I think the perception of nice guys finishing last is one that has just been propagated, just like, everything else that we put in, don't wear that. You're a fast woman. Men don't want a woman like this, whatever, all of the things that we put on people at birth. I think that's just another perpetuation. As far as in practicality, I prefer nice men. I have never dated like what I would consider a bad guy. Like that's stressful to me. I've never dated anyone that's been in and out of the, correctional system. I've never dated anybody that I knew was doing anything illegal or bad. So I tend to be attracted to men that I think will be there in the morning and won't be using my name on any kind of paperwork. So for me, I prefer a nice guy. They still finish last because they still got their own issues, but I actually prefer a nice guy. So I don't know where that perception comes from. Give me a nice guy any day of the week.
Shar, what are you thinking?
I think that nice guys and uneventful are not necessarily the same. There's some nice guys who have had some
unpack that, Shar. Unpack that. That's something right there.
They're nice guys who have had some stuff happen in their lives, and they're extremely nice men. They may have even found themselves behind bars temporarily, but they're extremely nice men. So I don't think those are mutually exclusive either. I'm not defending doing wrong, but I'm just saying that doesn't cater to whether or not they're nice or decent gentlemen. Sometimes people make horrible mistakes, depending on their upbringing, depending on circumstances, depending where they found themselves, depending on lack of guidance. There's always a story sometimes.
Sure. Let me jump in because when I say nice guys, and I understand how the bad boy creeps into that, but there are a lot of nice guys that are looking for women and get overlooked all day, every day. So when I say nice guys finish last, my question is, it's some great guys that might not have the swag, might not have, like a friend of mine, she's a doctor, right? And I introduced her, I showed her the Instagram, one of my buddies. And granted, he's a bit of a weirdo.
I love you.
He's the nicest guy in the world, right?
But you already answered the question.
But RP,
no, he's a weirdo.
But RP, let me say this. First of all, nice men, Gather around. Nice men. On y'all listen up real quick. You can be nice, but you also gotta be interesting. You can't be a bowl of rice, plain rice. You can't be sitting around talking, I can't find nobody. You gotta be interesting. You gotta get some life and get something happening, popping. You don't have to be a bad boy, but you do have to be interesting because somebody has to live with you for the next 20 years or more, or engage in conversations, want to be around you, want to take your phone call. Just be interesting. Be nice and interesting. Have something going on in your life. Learn a couple little jokes or something to throw in the conversation. Do something, but nobody wants to just be around somebody nice. You know what I mean? Have some edges, some dimension. Women don't like one-dimensional men. It has nothing to do with them being nice. You're one-dimensional, and that's boring.
Wait a minute, Naomi. Hold on. No weirdo. Hold on.
But I mean, that's goes for women. I think it's a lot of good women that feel like they're being overlooked for the insta thoughts and whatever. So I think the perception is there for everybody. It's like, I carry myself a certain way. I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing, so I think that goes both ways, that a lot of times someone who feels like they're doing everything right to be a great partner, that they're the ones that are overlooked.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So and that's what it comes down to. Don't be one-dimensional.
We're back to square one. Nice guys finish last.
And so no, boring guys finish last, Rodney. You're not hearing me though. Boring guys finish last. Boring ass, I ain't doing nothing, guys finish last. So interesting men do not finish last. Nobody's gonna leave. It might not be $100 bill, but nobody's gonna leave a $5 bill on the ground. You just have something going for yourself. Have some, some stories. Go let life happen to you.
I'm so sick of Rhonda. I'm so sick of Rhonda.
I love Rhonda. I love Rhonda.
Rhonda, you're right.
Rhonda said, "Where they at?"
But you're right.
I love Rhonda because she says what she's thinking, and she's not taking it back. I said what I said, so I love it.
Rosemary says the same goes for all the nice women. They get overlooked if they don't have that bought booty and hair. Hold on, Rosemary.
Body and hair.
That's not true.
No, it's not.
Don't get me wrong. If you do got a nice booty, you definitely gonna get some attention from Rodney Perry. All right.
You gonna say hi. Rodney gonna say hi.
Hold on. Ole says gold diggers finish last. Here's a question, ladies. Is it okay to be a gold digger?
As long as you're a good one, I guess. I don't know.
When you say gold digger, define that for me. What does that mean?
Whatever it feels like it means.
Okay, so when someone says gold digger, my thought is I have nothing, and
hold on. Let me answer. Let me help. Okay, I'm a father, 5 girls. I want my daughter to be with the guy that's well off, if possible. But I want him to treat her good and things. But I don't want her to be with a poor, destitute guy. And so, if she's a gold digger, then so be it.
I don't think that's a gold digger, though.
Are you also encouraging your daughter to be well off as she is looking to partner with someone who's well off? So that's my thing. I'm looking for assets, not liability. So if that would put me in a category of I need a man to have his own, to be taking care of himself at a certain level, at least matching what I'm doing, I would prefer you doing more because I would like to be on a come up. I mean, that doesn't make me a gold digger, but I'm not looking for somebody to bring me down from what I've already done. So I match energies. And so the reason why I try to be a high vibrating, high volume, high value woman is because that's what I want in a dude.
Wow. I'm not mad at that. Jeff Brown says women will forgive you for anything, cheating, abuse, not providing anything, but boring them.
Jeff Brown, what's up? What's up, Jeff Brown?
That feels kind of true. That's the
homie. That's the homie, Jeff Brown.
Jeff is also on YouTube. He has a great show on YouTube as well, man, that I really love. If you judge a man by the money he makes, what will you judge him by if the dollar collapses? Ooh.
Okay. You better preach, Jeff Brown.
Okay, but can I say something about that?
Yes, please.
I think that would make someone a gold digger, judging a man by the money he makes. That's different from wanting someone who is taking care of himself and potentially could take care of others. So I will never judge a man by money. I used to work with professional athletes and I wouldn't date or marry any of them, but they had money. So it still goes back into what Charmel said with integrity and who you are as a person. Now, you could be a great, wonderful person and be destitute. I'm not looking to take somebody on or bring somebody up. I've had that phase in my life when I was open to that. I'm not open to that right now. And everyone gets to pick and choose what they open for at different times in their lives. And so for me, I would like someone who has been taking care of themselves. They, at this age in a man, they're probably taking care of somebody else in their family, whether it's a parent or children. And I just want to know they can do that well.
Let me ask you something, ladies. Has either one of you ever taken care of a guy? Charmel.
Okay, I wouldn't say taking care of a guy. I would say my first relationship out of college, and I was under a lot of guise of traditionally, who you should be and what you should do in a relationship, so it was my first real relationship. And I think I did more than I should have. I think I handicapped him because I wanted it to work out. After that relationship, which was a billion years ago, I understood that you can't make someone want more than they want for themselves. You know what I mean? That's not my job. Being in a relationship with you, make you want more than you want for yourself. Now, what you can do is share with me your goals. We can work on those goals together, but I'm not taking the lead on your goals. You know what I mean? You got to be running, and I'm going to be right behind you in case you fall. You know what I mean? And that's what a relationship is. I'm not talking about dating. I'm not talking about fly-by-night stuff. I'm talking about somebody you're trying to build with. There's a difference. Don't get on the first date trying to figure out where your money fit in or where you fit into their whole lifestyle, insert yourself. That's not what you do. That's not how you build organic relationships. Back, I didn't get to comment on gold digger. Gold diggers, I laughed and I guess you're a good one because there are professional gold diggers out here. I mean, that's what they do. They wouldn't have a job if they didn't have, the gold digging mechanism. I mean, I know most celebrities know, who gold diggers are. They're professionals, and the really good ones get married and, immediately have a kid or two just to secure their future. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that or figure it out. But in the real, I believe, exactly what Eunice was saying. And it's how I live my life. I never have, Rodney, you've known me 20, 25 years. You've never heard me say, there's no good men out here. I can't meet a man. I know more men than the law should allow, and I have more conversations than the law should allow. I know more good people than the law should allow, but it's energy. Energy is exchange. You give out the energy you want. I'm who I want to see. I'm the change I want to see in other people. So I don't say there's no good people out here because I know I give out great energy, and therefore I attract great energy, men, women, everybody, so I'm never complaining about, the social scheme of life. But I would say this, in terms of gold diggers, I don't believe in anyone, male or female, trying to come up on someone else. You know what I mean? That's their goal. That's what they're seeking to do. Do I think together you can elevate? Yes. Do I think you can seek out people who can put you on and make your life amazing and you're not contributing anything? No, that's a gold digger to me, male or female.
Wow. Eunice, you have any thoughts on that?
Always. But it's one of those things where it really is, it changes. I've never taken care of a man. I caught myself taking a man on vacation by accident one time because we agreed on the price. By accident. We agreed on.
I love her.
We went on this. We said, "Hey, we're going to Cuba. We're going on this trip together." I don't want to say where I went because I don't want nobody to know who I'm talking about. But anyway, and so I did the research, did all the booking and planning, and said, "This is how much your half is." And he had some car troubles right before the trip, and I'm like, "Well, do you not need to go?" "Oh no, I got it." We end up being there because things had to be booked. And it was like 2 months after the trip that I'm like, "Hey, I wasn't taking you on that trip, right? Like, where my money at? Like, what's happening?" So that one time I caught myself and I had taken a man on vacation. I did not sleep well. He did end up paying me back eventually, but that's something, even that, I would never do again, thinking in my mind, okay, my credit card, I'm booking it. Just give me the money today. I would never do that again.
Wow. Let's look at some of the chat. Jeff Brown is in there having a field day. "I was dead broke when I met my wife, fresh off of homeless. Had she judged me based upon where I was, we wouldn't be where we are. Watch 13 on Netflix."
Oh, yeah. 13 on Netflix.
But you know what, Jeff Brown? But Jeff Brown, I've known you 25 years or more. And so who you are is exuded. So you were never homeless. You might have been without a home. You follow me? When I talk about in my book, just one thing, that's behind me. So just one thing. When I talk about I not having money, I didn't have any money. I was never broke.
There
I've
you go.
never been broke in my life. I didn't have any money. And there's a difference. When I walk
Big
in the room,
difference.
you don't see broke. It's nothing broke about me. I didn't have any money temporarily, but that changed. You understand what I mean? And so there's a difference between being homeless and without a home. So take that out your vocabulary, because anytime Jeff Brown walks in the room, you not gonna, there's no such thing as homeless. There's no such thing as broke for you, Jeff Brown, because you're one of the most prolific writers, comedians, producers, speakers in the industry. There's nothing broke about you. So all she saw was greatness, deferred. And so when you see greatness deferred and you see that they may have hit a rough patch, that's different than taking in someone who's homeless. You were not homeless. You were without a home, period. There's a difference.
All of that.
Tuesday Connor says, I have friends who marry gold diggers and no, it's not okay. My friends are great guys with broken hearts. Oh, Jeff Brown says a man should be judged by his planning and execution. All right, Jeff.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yes.
Let's go. Cassandra says, I don't take care of a grown ass man.
You know what, Rodney? Let me share this story because Jeff said planning and execution. And so because I am so matter of fact with things, personally and professionally, there was a guy I met, drop dead gorgeous in LA, Hollywood, whatever. And so he was trying to date me, but he had too much baggage initially for me. When I say baggage, he had a young child. I couldn't quite understand. That's my job to make you cry, Jeff Brown. But anyway, he was gorgeous. He had a lot going for him, had an amazing past career, but I couldn't get past whatever was going on with that mother of his child. I think he was under 2 years old. And why he said there was nothing going on. He was trying to help her, trying to blah, blah, blah. Oh, it sounded like mess to me. He was like, I promise you, I will have full custody in less than 6 months. And we will not be in a space together in 6 months. So the thing that made me reconsider having a relationship with him was in 5 months, it was done, and he represented himself. And so that struck a chord with me. So that was different than me trying to understand, here we are 6-7 years down the road. No, he gave me a time frame. I promise you, it's going to be straight out. And I'm serious. So that made me reconsider being involved with him.
Go ahead, Eunice.
And that was information. And you were able to do that based on, and it still goes back to communicating truths, no matter what it is, that we can work with your info. Just give us your information. We can work with that. But let me say this about taking care of a man, because I'm in a current recent situation where this new person I'm dating, he's vegan. So he has special dietary needs, but he's also very busy, workaholic, and he tends to eat out every day. He doesn't cook. So I went online, found a vegan food service, and shipped him a box of meals that he can eat, just so he can have a plan every day. I wouldn't have done that for a man that I thought was coming to my house every day trying to eat, or, that I'm like, okay, I feel like this dude is taking advantage of my generosity or the fact that I'm willing to do this. This person lives in a different city from me. He has done more than most to care and nurture for me in a very short amount of time. So I didn't think twice about sending this man a box of food just so he can have some food in the house while he's working on this project. So it's a balance of, no, I'm not going to take care of no man and be sending him meal services every week. But that was not a thought to offer that sentiment of, you need to eat, get your job done, and keep it moving. So it's still a balance.
Right. Understood.
Rodney, the word Rodney.
Yeah.
The word we're not using, I think women don't use enough of their discernment. Women have innately a sense of discernment of what's real and what's not. Take away what you want to happen and look at discern what is really going on and decide what position you should play in that situation. Like Eunice was saying, something in her heart, her soul told her, this is someone you want to, for lack of a better word, invest in or to cherish or to help on some level. And she did that out of discernment, not because, desperation. Oh, I think he's cute. I need this relationship. Right. It was discernment. It was a decision she made. It wasn't, circumstantial and him hounding her for stuff. She decided in her spirit, this is what I need to do to be who I need to be to this person, whether we're in a relationship or not.
Indeed. It's been a great hour, a great chat with two amazing ladies who who, upon the behest of Rodney Perry, they came here at a moment's notice and kicked it. I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you to all the new subscribers, those of you that subscribed today. I appreciate it.
I did. I subscribed to you.
Thank you. And you can subscribe to her as well. It is youtube.com/Shartown ENT. And my friend Eunice Elliott, you can check her YouTube out. youtube.com/Oh No Girl. Yeah.
Yes.
and both of these ladies are authors. Shar, whose book I have read, it's called Just One Thing. It's an awesome read. If you haven't had the, thank you for the subscription, Eunice. Thank you very much.
I haven't sent you my books. Okay, text me your address. I gotta send you my book.
I'll buy one. I'll buy a book.
Okay.
Just One Thing is a great read. And Shar is an amazing writer. And one thing I walked away with from her book with, when in doubt, pray. That was like the through line for me in your book. Whenever you were at a stopping point in life, you prayed and God worked it out. So such a great book. Hang on. This one is about to come out. Am I right, Eunice?
That one's about to come out.
I might not be a great girlfriend.
This is the one that's already out. 10 Things Your Mama Never Told You, but Mine Did. Unconventional wisdom to navigate a world that cares nothing about you and your feelings. You still got to go get it.
All the information about my book is at the top of my YouTube page. So you can click the link that says Just One Thing. You can click my Facebook. You can click my IG. All of that is on my YouTube page. And there's also, I think, the link tree, which gives you everything, past interviews, national interviews, things of that nature. So you can familiarize yourself with who Sharmell is.
Wow. Hey, ladies, I cannot again thank you enough, man. The chat has been going crazy all day. Garrick, I'm sorry I didn't make it to your comment, but thank you, bro, for popping in. Ms. Rhonda, who is our co-host for today, great job. Great conversation. Thank you, Rosemary. Garrick, thank you for popping in.
Garrick's single. He's single. So, ladies, it's out there for you.
He put his phone number out there, too. That's what I'm talking about.
It's out there.
His phone number.
Ain't no reason to be single.
Wait, Garrick did put his phone out. I ain't see that. Hold on, wait. Why Garrick wild out? Hold on, wait.
Garrick said it's here, yours for the taking. So, ladies, if you're still single after today, that's your choice. Y'all did that.
Hey, somebody call Garrick.
Somebody call Garrick.
Hold on, let me see. I got that phone right here. Let's call Garrick.
Yeah, let's talk to Garrick. Let's see what's going on with Garrick. Garrick, I can hook you up. I can get you some people. So, Rodney, call him.
I'm about to call him right now. This is gonna be crazy. I'm
so curious.
Can y'all hear it?
Yeah.
Hello?
What up, Garrick?
How you doing?
Hey, this is Rodney Perry, man. This is Rodney Perry. How are you?
I'm doing good. Trying to find me a girlfriend, man.
Well, what you do for a living?
Huh?
Hold on, turn the computer down.
Yeah, trying to get me a good lady, man.
Well, I gotta look out for the ladies. What you got going for yourself, G?
I got to go to the what they call that, the grocery store.
Okay.
Hey, you called me.
I'm calling you right now. Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
Hey, you gotta turn the computer down, Garrett.
Oh, what I do for a living, man?
Listening to the computer. It's a delay.
Yeah, I can't talk to him. He listened to it at the same time. He was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, wait a minute, you called me." hey, that was dope. Look, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you. Her name is Ashar McMillan, and let me clear the screen so people can see it. Boom.
Yes, just when Garrick put a picture for his profile, because it would probably lend someone to click on it and potentially call him.
Yeah,
See?
get that marketing together, Garrick. If you really want somebody, get your marketing together.
Yeah.
Put a picture up there so we can see what you're doing.
Oh God, Char, how can people get in touch with you? How can people find you and be a part of your world?
Okay, my Facebook, everything. IG, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube is Shartown ENT, TOWNENT. Facebook, IG, Twitter, all of it. Chartown ENT. You can find me. I have a weekly show. It is what it is. How men think, the male perspective on relationships. So men going in and telling it like it is on life, love, relationships, and everything in between. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Facebook live stream. So follow me on Facebook. And I'm starting a new show on YouTube in a week and a half called Just One Thing after my book. And I'm going to be interviewing you guys and telling your life-defining moments and life-changing moments. And so we're going to be talking live on YouTube.
Wow. Thank you so much. And my friend, Miss Eunice Elliott, how can people be a part of your world, sis?
I need to obviously change my name on there. It's at Eunice Elliott on all social media, EUNICEELLIOTT. If you can't remember my last name, if you put in Eunice and it doesn't say obituary next to it, it's me. So Instagram, I'm one of the last active duty Eunices out there, so I'm easy to find.
Active duty?
EuniceElliott.com.
Yeah.
And I host my podcast, Oh No Girl Yes. I also just started a new podcast called The History of Being Black, and got a couple of books out there. They're on Amazon as well, but you can also find them on EuniceElliott.com.
Wow. Again, guys, thank you so much for coming on today. My name is Rodney Perry. This is Rodney Perry Live. Two of the livest guests came on here today. Totally improv too, and we rocked out. My screen is blurry, but my mind is clearer after talking to you.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Love you, babe.
Until next time.